Hi, everyone. This is real estate coach Craig Proctor. Thank you for being with me. Today, we're going to be talking about how do I make money with the market change? How do I make money with buyers now that the market's changed? So we've got some really good news, some good opportunities here for you. As you know, I coach agents that are making some of them over $1 million in GCI on a monthly basis. Okay, so that's not volume. They're making $1 million in commission a month. I have many making over $1 million a year, but I want to talk to you today about how could you turn your annual income into your monthly income. Certainly, it's not by doing what everyone else is doing. So we're going to talk today about some highly effective approaches right here in this changing market. And there's no question things have changed quite a bit. So you need the new strategies that we're going to talk about today. First of all, let me know where you're from, what part of the country in. Let me know the city and state. We get a lot of referrals going back and forth. I don't keep any of the money. We just connect you guys. The biggest battle that you're fighting, remember, is obscurity. So let me know in the comments what location you're in. Okay, now, so do that now. Type that into the comments. You've noticed market changing. Okay, so the good news when we're working with buyers today versus, say, even a few months ago, is it's a lot easier to find the buyer a house. I think we would all agree, right? Like that was the problem we had over the last couple of years, is we had buyers that wanted to buy. We couldn't find them a property. And by the time we found them a property, the house was either already sold or there were multiple offers, and we kept losing out over and over again. That's really frustrating. It's frustrating for you, the agent, but it's also highly frustrating to the buyer. So the only way the buyer could actually, win is if they paid way more for the home than anyone else in your city thought it was worth. So it wasn't really a great deal for buyers. So that's the positive with the way the market's changed now. It's not so much of a crazy seller's market. It's more of a balanced market. And in some areas, it's actually a strong buyer's market. Let me know how it is for you. Type into comments. What's going on in your market right now? Is it sort of a balanced market, or is it actually a buyer's market? Do your buyers now have the advantage? So we're going to talk about how do we get these buyers. Now that we can help the buyers find a home, how do we get good buyers that will qualify? Okay, because that's the other edge to the two-edged sword here is, yes, there's way more inventory. Yes, it's easier to find a home for your buyer, and it's easier to get the offer accepted, but we've got to get the financing right. So how do we find the good buyers? How do we find buyers that are going to approve for financing and be able to afford a house? We're not looking for anybody, right? We're only looking for the best buyers that are highly motivated and financially secure, so that we're not wasting our time running people around who can't actually afford to buy a home. So we have a process in place, and I'm going to lay this out for you today. We're going to explain exactly what you need to do to be successful in this rapidly changing market. Again, if you're just joining us, let me know the city and state or city and province that you're in. Type that in right now. Let's get some referrals going back and forth. I was talking to one of our members a couple weeks ago, and they said they've made over $150,000 just from referrals being involved with the Craig Proctor Network. Now, you don't have to be a Craig Proctor member to benefit from referrals. When we get, we have members looking for someone, and you're in their marketplace, we're going to refer them to you. Okay, so I want to start off with what offer should you be making to generate the good buyers? What should you be doing? First of all, let's start off with what you should not be doing, okay? You can do this stuff, but it doesn't really work that well. In the Craig Proctor world, we'd never recommend that you do any kind of prospecting, okay? We're going to teach you smart modern marketing, so there would be no cold calls, no door knocking, no chasing expireds or for sale by owners, no open houses. All that traditional stuff has got you to where you are right now. And you might be saying, well, it's not that it doesn't work. Okay, it's not that it doesn't work, but we want to replace what you're doing now with things that work better, right? If you want to get to the next level, if you're serious about making more money, right, and working less, we've got to have the best strategies in place. And that's my job, is to introduce you to what the top agents all over North America are doing. The real heavy hitters have a strategy that's very different than what most agents are using. So one thing I want you to start doing is I want you to start advertising move-up properties, okay, a list of move-up properties in a high-demand area. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have any listings in this particular area. It just means that you know of them. So, for example, if we pick an area in my marketplace that has high demand, it's a move-up area. It's an area called Glenway Estates. And Glenway Estates, we know that everyone looking to move into that area would have a house to sell. So I'm getting a buyer, but I'm also getting a listing. And what you'll find is the easiest way to get listings is to get the owner of the house, right, to respond as a buyer. So you're basically getting the seller to respond first as a buyer. Now, when we get into real estate, we're kind of locked into this old paradigm of, well, I can only advertise what I have listed. Or maybe if I get permission from another realtor in my office, I can advertise their listings. So I want you to think about this. We're locked into advertising what we have versus offering what it is that buyers really want. So there's no law that says you can't advertise what you know, because that's what you do anyway, right? Like when you get an ad call or a sign call off of one of your listings, 9 out of 10 times, I don't have to ask you, I know 9 out of 10 times when you get an ad call or a sign call, it goes like this. You're trying to do a good job for your seller, explain the home and all the benefits, but 9 out of 10 times, the buyer says, thanks, but no thanks. The house is too big, it's too small, it's in the wrong location, it's too much money, or whatever. What do you do in those instances? Do you say to the buyer, oh, okay, well, sorry, good luck, and hang up the phone? No. In fact, it's the opposite. As soon as the buyer disqualifies the house, have you noticed how they kind of want to disqualify you? So when you say it's a 3-bedroom, they're like, oh, I'm interested in a 4-bedroom. It's a rush for them to try to get off the phone. Now, what you've learned to do, which is the right thing to do, is you try to convert them, right? You try to find out what they're looking for, right? You'd say, well, what are you looking for? What price range are you in? If this isn't the right house, what price range are you in? Now, the reason you would do that is because you're about now to tell them about homes that would match their criteria that aren't your listings often, right? There are other listings with your brokerage or their listings on MLS. So you do this anyway, right? When you get an ad call or a sign call, you don't just hang up on the buyer if it's not the right property. You say, hey, man, what are you looking for? And you try to switch them on to other properties that would interest them. You would say, hey, I can send you a list of homes that match what you're looking for. So what we're going to do with this approach is we're just going to lead with that offer first. Does that make sense? Since you do it anyway, why don't we just lead with that offer? The ad that we run on Facebook Marketplace, that's for free, right? On Facebook Marketplace, we're offering a list of homes, okay, in a high demand area. Now, how do you know it's a high demand area? Because you work in the area. You can go to MLS, you can do the research. I know that as soon as something comes up in Glenway Estates, there's like a whole bunch of offers on it. So that's what I want to promote. I don't want to be promoting what I have just because I have the listing. No. Instead, I want to promote what is super hot in my marketplace. Okay, I'm not saying anywhere in the ad at all that I have this property listed. I'm simply saying I know of several beautiful homes in Glenway Estates that back on the golf course, whatever you want to say about that area. If you'd like the list, DM me. Okay, so now I've got a lead and it didn't cost me any money. Plus, for $10 a day, I can run a paid ad on Facebook and generate a lot of leads. Now, that's how you get the lead. Sounds simple, right? You're going to offer stuff the buyers want, that they really want, to get them to contact you. Now that they've contacted you, you're simply returning an inquiry that the prospect made, right? So there's no reason to feel weird or like you're not chasing people or cold calling. You're not initiating anything. You're simply responding to inquiries that the buyer has made, and it didn't cost you any money because you ran this ad for free on Marketplace, or you spent $10 a day on a Facebook ad. This is how my top agents are making millions of dollars a year. So the buyer calls you. Now we have a specific script. We have to have a good offer when we're speaking to the buyers. So even if you're not going to do what I just said, you are speaking to buyers on a regular basis, right? You get ad calls, you get sign calls, you meet buyers in open houses or whatever you do. You have to have a really good offer. What I mean by that is the words that come out of your mouth have to be awesome, right? Or the buyer is going to kind of blow you off, right? So if you say, what we've been trained to say to buyers are things like, would you like me to email you the homes that you can find on the internet by yourself? Right? Or I'll negotiate your best interest. I'll represent you. Buyers today, we can agree, are less interested in that. They know they can find houses without the real estate agent. They're doing as much research as they possibly can. Plus, think about this. If the big offer that you're making to buyers is that I'll email you the houses that are on MLS, that's the same offer that all the other agents are offering them. It's the exact same offer. So you're not setting yourself apart in any way at all. So here's what I'd like you to do. When you're talking to the buyer, I want you to offer them stuff that they can't find, homes that they can't find on their own. I want you to make an offer that doesn't sound like the other agents, and the best offer wins. So your offer might sound like this. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, would you like to receive priority access to all the hot new listings, not just the ones that are online and available to the open public, but I also have access to distress sales, bank foreclosures, perhaps you have. How about this? Builder closeouts. A lot of builders have been stuck with a lot of half-built homes, right? A whole bunch of buyers walked away, and we'll talk about that in a minute. How about this? I also have access to unlisted and off-market properties. These are homes that no other buyer knows about. You would be the only buyer that would be interested. Now, let's pause for a minute because a lot of you are like, well, that would be awesome to say, but how do I do that? How do I get access to the unlisted and off-market properties? How do I get listed to the distress sales and the vacant properties? This is what we coach you up on, is how to offer stuff that the buyers really want, and it's something they can't do on their own, right? What I just said, the buyer can't find information like this on their own, and they're not hearing about this from any other agent. That means you win. What do you win? You win a face-to-face appointment. Because when I say, would you like this? Would you like to get access to priority access to all the homes that are on the market, on the open market, on MLS, but also we can get you access to distress sales, company-owned properties, vacant properties, homes that have recently been reduced, builder closeouts, and unlisted and off-market properties. It's absolutely free of charge, and you're never obligated to do anything. Would that interest you? Boom! 100%, almost 100% of the buyers will say, yes, I want that. What are you going to do? You're going to say, well, great, when can we get together so I can take down exactly what you're looking for? And the buyer's probably going to say, well, why do we need to meet? Can't I just tell you over the phone what I'm looking for? No. You're going to say, because I want to do a good job for you, which is true. If we can get together for about 15 or 20 minutes, I can take down exactly what you're looking for. And that way, I'll be sending you homes that are a perfect match. And we won't miss out. Even worse, like we don't want to miss out on any of the perfect properties. When do you have 15 minutes for us to get together? What's better, mornings or afternoons? I used to say what's better, days or evenings, and a lot of buyers would say evenings. I didn't want to work as many evenings. I made one simple change to the script. Instead of saying what would be a better time to meet, days or evenings, I switched it to mornings and afternoons. Now that doesn't mean I wouldn't meet with a buyer in the evening, but why give them that option right off the start, right? This script, has made me personally millions of dollars. Many of you know my story. Within 3 years of getting my real estate license, I was named the number one RE/MAX agent on the entire planet. In the entire world, no real estate agent working for RE/MAX, whatever there is, 100, 130,000, no other RE/MAX agent in the world made as much money as I did. For several years, I was one of the top 10 RE/MAX agents in the world for 20 years. Now, it gets better than that because you're like, well, that's good for Craig. How's that help me? Because my other track record is of what's interest to you. I have created more millionaire real estate agents than any other coach, trainer, or guru. So I can transfer what I know to you. That's the good news. That's why you want to be interested. If this makes sense, give me a thumbs up. Hit the like button, or maybe you might even want to give me one of those little hearts. A little blue thumbs up. Let me know that this is making sense to you, okay? Everything you want to do in real estate has already been done by me and thousands of current Craig Proctor members, including agents that are making, okay, I'll give you an example. I've got a guy in Tennessee. His name is Tracy King. Tracy King, small town, like his average price, not high. He's in rural Tennessee. Google the guy, Tracy King, Kings of Real Estate. He makes over $1 million every month. I've had agents that start with me that are starving to death. They're failing at this. Some of them are brand new in the business. Some of them have been in real estate for 15 or 20 years. I had one lady I was working with. She was in real estate for almost 20 years before she met me. She could never break through $150,000. Last year, after 2 years of working with me, she did over $400,000 in GCI. Same agent, same marketplace, but totally different strategy. Okay, I got more stuff here for you guys. So we talked about the ad. The message in the ad obviously has to be stuff that buyers are interested in, right? So if you're advertising your 2-bedroom home on a corner lot with an in-ground pool that should have been filled in 30 years ago, just because, well, I have this listed, right? That's our mindset. Well, I have to advertise it because I have it listed. No, how about this? How about advertising something people want? How about instead of spending your time and your money advertising a listing just because you have it, wouldn't it be better to do a little bit of research and give some consideration to what is selling like hotcakes? You're not saying you have it listed. You're simply saying, hey, I know of beautiful golf course homes in Glenway Estates, which is true. As a licensed realtor, you do know about these properties. In no way are you misleading in saying I have these listed. You're simply saying, I know about them, which is exactly what you do when you get an ad call or a sign call. Let me remind you of that, right? When you get an ad call or a sign call and the buyer eliminates the property and they tell you it's too big or too small or whatever, you immediately say, well, what are you looking for? And you start to tell them about other houses that you know. They're not your listings, but they're other homes that you know on MLS. You're already doing this after you get the call. Why don't we do it to get the call? Why don't we do that in the beginning to get more calls? And then when you speak to them, don't make a lame offer. Don't say, well, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, what I can do is I can give you daily emails to all the homes that you can find by yourself. The buyers are onto this, right? There's 57 different websites in the United States where the buyers can go and get all the information to MLS on MLS. Okay, so if that's your big offer to buyers, is I'm going to send you what you can get on your own. I'm going to send you what's public information. It's not a great offer. Okay, you've got to raise the bar. You've got to understand buyers, they don't need you for that. What they need you to find is the good stuff. Okay, the unlisted, the off-market properties. Here's what I want you to do. Let's talk about builders. The builders right now are hurting. For the last couple years, how many of you would agree the builders kind of snubbed their noses at us, right? The builders over the last few years, they didn't want to work with us. They didn't want to pay us a commission. I mean, I get it. The market was super hot. So they used to pay us big commissions, right? To bring introduce our buyer at new construction sites. But the builders, during the boom times of real estate, they're like, yeah, man, we don't need you. We'll pay you a $500 referral fee. And if you don't like it, well, sorry, we're just not interested. But now that interest rates have been jacked up, I mean, interest rates have gone from 3% to 6%. A lot of these new construction buyers have walked away on their contract with the builder. And now the builder is stuck with thousands of homes all over the country, half-built homes that they need to get rid of. And guess what the builders are doing now? Now the builders need us, right? How many of you would agree? Give me a thumbs up. How many of you have been contacted by the builders recently? Okay, they snubbed their noses at us for a couple years. Now they need us. Now they're coming back to us and they're saying, hey, we'll cooperate. We'll not only pay you your full commission, we'll pay you a bonus. We'll give your buyers $15,000 of upgrades. Okay, now they need us. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to walk into the builder, okay? I want you to ask the builder, would it be okay if me, the realtor, do I have your permission to advertise your standing inventory? These are homes that are kind of half built where the buyer has walked away. They'll say yes. Now, this is a hot button, right, for buyers. A lot of buyers like new construction. Imagine if you could run an ad that says, I have access to a list of builder inventory, standing inventory. Okay, these homes are like super. Like, talk about the houses and the features, and some of them have like almost immediate access because the buyer walked away. Offer a list of the builder homes. These are not your listings. You're not saying they're your listings. You're getting permission from the builder who wants your help. Guess what happens? The buyers that call you, in large part, already have a house to sell, so you're going to get their listings, but you're going to bring these buyers over to the builder, okay, onto the construction site, into the model home, and you're going to introduce them to the sales team, the builder. How easy is that? All you have to do is the introduction on new construction. How easy is that? You say, hey, John, I'd like you to meet, George and Susan, and you do the handoff. And the builder takes care of everything. The builder does the contract, they pick out the colors, all that kind of stuff. You get paid your full commission right now plus a bonus. This is the easiest money you're going to make, is introducing your qualified buyers to the builder and getting paid, and introduce them to all the builders. I want you to go out and start working with these builders. Now, here's the next thing that happens. When this works, right, and you've got these relationships with these builders, why? Because you've been helping them, you've been selling their standing inventory. Guess what you can do now? You got a little bit of leverage to negotiate to get the backup properties. Some of you are like, well, what are backup properties? Most of you know, but a backup property is when a buyer buys a new home, new construction from the builder. A lot of them have houses to sell. And a lot of these buyers that are buying new construction, they don't have a real estate agent. So the builder has agents that take care of the backup properties. You want to be that agent. This is how I want to teach you. I want to coach you up on how to get in the door with the builders, start advertising the homes they're desperate to sell. These are half-built homes. They got stuck with a whole bunch of them. And then when you start to bring your buyers, you've got this relationship, they're going to give you sellers. The builder will start to refer, give you listings from buyers that are coming into their site. They want to buy, but they've got a house to sell. How many of you are doing this? Let me know right now. I made so much money. Guys, I made so much money using this strategy. I remember I had one builder come into my office because I was doing this with builders, and he had 7 standing inventory homes. I double-ended all 7. Okay, that one conversation, I probably made, probably $1 million from this one introduction to one guy. He had 7 homes. I listed them all at 7%, double-ended them. Okay, brand new construction. Okay, now, there's something I want to talk about here. Some of you have said, hey, Craig, I'm getting an objection from the buyers right now. A lot of the buyers are saying, I'm going to wait. Let me know in the comments. Are you hearing this from buyers right now? They're watching the prices come down. As interest rates go up, the prices have been going down. How many of you, let me know in comments, have heard from your buyer, you know what, I think I'm going to wait. I think I'm going to sit on the sidelines and I'm going to wait for prices to continue to drop and drop and drop. Let me know in the comments if you've heard that from your buyer. Also, let me show you how to handle this. What I want you to explain to the buyer, and you can do this with a simple mortgage calculator. Let's say a house is $400,000, if there's even those kind of houses in your market. And the buyer says, I'm going to wait, hopefully the price will drop $50,000. So the price is going to drop, say, from $400 to $350, or, from $850 to $800, whatever it is in your marketplace. What you've got to prove to the buyer is even if home prices dropped a further $50,000, the prices are dropping because of the increase in interest rates. Do the mortgage calculator and say, okay, here's today's rate. And if you're waiting for the price of this home to drop $50,000, that means rates are going to go up to this, right? Rates have moved from 3% to 6%. So you could already go back in time and say, look at this $800,000 house. If you would have bought this, for $800,000 3 months ago, you would have paid 3%. Now, so what? The house has dropped from $850 to $750, but now you're paying 6%. Look what happens to your payments and show them, prove to them that the house is going to cost them a lot more money over the life of the loan. They would have been better to buy the house at $800,000 than to wait for it to drop to $750 when they're paying 6% versus when they were paying 3%. So use that math, explain it to them, and they start to think about it and they go like, yeah, he's right. Now, the only exception to this would be a cash buyer. right? A cash buyer doesn't have any financing, so they don't care about what the rates are. Okay, a couple other things I want to show. These are really cool things you can do with buyers. Give them a guarantee. In our industry, there's a lot of talk, right? Real estate agents make promises and generalities, and they say to buyers, I'm going to do a good job for you. I guarantee to give you great service. I guarantee I'm a great negotiator. I guarantee I'm going to get you a good price. Give it to them in writing. Okay, you can start running ads, and the words that come out of your mouth as well. And you're going to say to the buyer, I guarantee to negotiate at least $5,000 off the asking price of any home you purchase using my services. Or if I fail to do that, I'll reduce my commission by $1,000 on closing. Okay, now I want you to think about, can you do this? What's the biggest promise that you could both make and keep to the buyer? For some of you, you might be able to say $10,000, right? The bigger, the better. Now, what would be the worst thing that would happen? Well, a total stranger would call you off this. A buyer that was never going to call you calls you, said, hey, I'm interested in your $5,000 cash guarantee. How's it work? Well, if you work with me and I represent you as the buyer, if I don't save you at least $5,000 off the asking price, I'll reduce my commission by $1,000. What's the worst thing that happens? Maybe you only save the buyer $4,000. So instead of making a $15,000 commission, I make a $14,000 commission from a stranger that never would have called me had I not run this kind of marketing. And if they're interviewing or speaking to other realtors, boom, this sets you apart. We call this a unique selling proposition. How about this? I'll give you another one. This is being used by my top members, and buyers love it. We call it our buyer satisfaction guarantee, or our love it or leave it guarantee. So you're going to say to the buyer, hey, I'm not one of these agents that's just trying to sell you a house. Okay, I am dedicated to helping you find the very best home for you and your family. So we give all of our buyers our love it or leave it guarantee. And here's how it works. If you buy a home using my services and you're not happy with that home for whatever reason at all, anytime within the next year, you give me a call and I'll sell it for free as long as you buy your next home using my services. Now, that means you're just not going to charge them a listing commission. They'd have to pay the buyer broker commission. But it's a nice guarantee, right? Because buyers are sometimes like, well, when I move in, I don't know what my neighbors are going to be like. I don't really know if I like the place. I have offered this for years. Very, very seldom have I ever had anyone call me taking me up on this. But it's like an insurance policy you're giving buyers. And what's the downside for you? Well, if you had to sell their home anytime within a year, you don't get a listing commission, but they're going to buy another home, and then you're going to get paid a commission on that end. So these are all just options. These are just ideas that I think you guys should consider if you're serious about your real estate business. And only you can decide when you're serious about your real estate business. If you are, and you like my techniques, you should really book a call with my team and I. Why don't you do that? Why don't you book? This was free today, right? I gave a presentation to you, but imagine if we were talking one-on-one on a confidential call, okay? There's stuff that I would say to you on a Zoom call, a one-on-one private confidential call that I can't really say on a webinar, but it would be confidential about you. Why don't you book that right now? If someone could type into the comments, proctorcall.com, all together, one word, no space, proctorcall.com. It's a clickable link. Go there and book a day and a time. I've got limited spots, but you'll get either myself or one of my team members, and we will ask you a bunch of questions about what you're doing in your business now, and we'll just give you a whole bunch of great ideas. Why would we do that? Right? You're like, well, what's the catch? Why would Craig and his team offer to talk to me for an hour? Because we want to help you. Why do we want to help you? Because if I help you, and I can prove I can help you, you may want to be coached up by me. Does that make sense? My strategy is not to hold anything back. It's the opposite. Let me just help you, get you using some of this stuff. And you're like, well, if Craig can help me this much on an hour call, imagine how much he could help me if I was working on a continual basis. Now, there's no obligation to do this. I don't want you to think it's like some kind of big sales pitch or anything like that. I'm good. Okay. Right now, I've got thousands of clients. This is about, is this right for you? Well, the only way you're going to find out is to book a call. No downside, doesn't cost anything. You're never obligated to do anything. I promise you all this. If you spend the hour with us, you'll walk away saying, wow, I learned a lot. The other thing I wanted to invite you to is I'm having a big 3-day conference in California at the end of September. Let me know if you're registered for that conference. It's in Anaheim, California at the end of September. And if someone could type in the domain, it's a clickable link, Craig Proctor, my name, CraigProctorSeminar.com. All together, no spaces. CraigProctorSeminar.com. You should check out this landing page. What you're going to learn at this conference and who you're going to hear from is unbelievable. Okay, guys, if you like this, we've been on for like a half an hour. Imagine 3 days of me and my top members. Everyone presenting makes hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars doing exactly what they're talking about. No theory, this isn't like these other coaches that have never sold real estate or they're failed real. Everyone presenting, including myself, has made millions and millions of dollars selling real estate. We offer you a money-back guarantee. Remember the guarantees that I was talking to you about that you should give to buyers? I put my money where my mouth is. This is how I set myself apart from all the other coaches. You come to my training, you come to my 3-day seminar. If you don't love it, I will give you 100% of your money back. Yep, you come at my risk, not yours. CraigProctorSeminar.com. You'll see the agenda. You'll see all the speakers. We're not hiding anything. You're going to get to see exactly what you're going to learn. It's a very thorough website, CraigProctorSeminar.com. You should register up. It's $495. The price is going up. That's our early bird discount, and I still have some discounted hotel rooms at half the normal price. And you can get your airfare. If you do it now, it's still cheap. I'd love to see you there. I'd love to work with you for 3 days. Plus, you get to meet all the other superstars. That's a big part of it. Not only will you and I get to meet, but you're going to meet agents that are on the panel. You can take them out to lunch, have a drink with them at the end of the day at the bar, but you'll understand exactly what they're doing. We're going to give you the inner workings. That's what's missing in traditional coaching, right? They want you to do more of the same stuff you're already doing. So the traditional coach would say, well, knock on more doors if you want to do better. Work 7 days a week instead of 6 days a week. Do more open houses. Do them on Saturdays and Sundays. They want you to keep doing what you've been doing, but just work harder. Or they're full of empty motivation, right? Or they talk about from the 10,000 foot level, they talk about the generalities of how to do stuff. How many of you have noticed that? But when you ask them the nitty gritty, it's like, okay, how would I do it? I've got questions. They can't answer your questions because they've never done successfully the stuff that they're talking about. That's what you get from Craig Proctor. Okay, I am the king of lead generation. Okay, all these top agents you see all over the marketplace, I have influenced most of these. I was the first real estate agent to have a team. Okay, I created the team concept. Why? Because I had an overflow of business. I couldn't go out on all the listing appointments. So I was the first agent in North America to hire other licensed agents. I was never a broker owner. I was just an agent working at the RE/MAX office. Pretty soon, I had a team of 2, I had a team of 4, I had a team of 8. Pretty soon, within 3 years, I'm named the #1 RE/MAX agent in the whole world. I sold over $1 billion with a B, $1 billion worth of real estate. I sold over 10,000 homes. But this ain't about me. This is about you. I want to introduce you to my superstars. I want to introduce you to agents that were starving to death and failing at this business, and then they met me, and what happened? I'll give you an example. There's a lady in Boca Raton. You can Google her. Her name is Kristen Stampini. She's one of my coaches now. When I met Kristen Stampini back in 2009, she'd just come out of bankruptcy. She had her real estate license. She was working part-time at real estate while serving tables. She was a waitress. And she made, I think, $60,000 the year she met me. Okay, her husband, Mark, and Kristen Stampini now, they make over $1 million a year. They're millionaires. Okay, this can happen for anybody. Now, is there a little bit of work involved? Yeah, you got to show up, and we'll show you exactly what to do. How many of you are good copiers? If you didn't have to create anything, if all you had to do is have it presented to you, we show you how it all works. How many of you are really good copiers? That's it. It's that easy. Think about this. Everything you want to do in real estate has already successfully been done by me and thousands of my members before. All you got to do is say maybe. All you got to do is investigate this. Book the call with me now, proctorcall.com, all one word, proctorcall.com. Check that out. We'd love to talk with you. I hope you found this helpful. If you did find our session here today incredibly helpful, again, give me a thumbs up, hit that little heart button, okay? And make sure you turn on notifications because whenever I'll go live, you'll get my stuff, okay? And if you know someone that might benefit from this, you can share this session with other realtors. Maybe you want to share it with your broker because your broker wants to help the other agents in the office. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this. I hope you did find it helpful. We'll talk to you next time. This is Real Estate Coach Craig Proctor. This is Craig Proctor. Hey, I really hope you enjoyed that video. And listen, I've got a lot more information for you to help you grow your real estate business. You see, several times a week, I record new videos and I load them onto this YouTube channel. What I'd like you to do, if you'd like to access them, are two important things, and both are totally free. Number one is I'd like you to subscribe to this channel. You're going to see a little subscribe button for you to click on. And if you don't already have an account with YouTube, it's free for you to set it up. It's really easy, it's free, but you've got to subscribe to this channel. And the most important thing is to ring the little bell right next to the subscribe button. And that's going to let you know every time I load new money-making videos to help you grow your real estate business. So make sure you subscribe right now, you ring the little bell, and we'll see you on the next video.